What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about the Guardians, but more specific than that we are going to talk about StarLord. And the reason why we are going to talk about StarLord is because of the Gamma raids. Gamma 4.5, that raid can be quite tough, and there are a few nodes where you can use Guardians, and it might be convenient for you to use StarLord, especially StarLord together with Spider-Man 2099, as he has a very long cooldown on his ultimate, and having an energy battery like StarLord is always very convenient. So we're going to take a look at what makes StarLord a great character for raids, but not only for raids, for also PvP situations. We're going to take we're going to think about the rumors that we have going on right there out there, based on what's going on the MCU. And then we are going to take a look at some gameplay of StarLord on the Gamma raids and see why it's so useful there. So, as always, if you like information on these videos, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. I'm stuttering a little bit today. It happens sometimes. Okay. There we go. So let's talk about StarLord and the Guardians of the Galaxy. So what we know right now is that there will be an event coming up soon to the game. It was already determined by Tauna, where you have to take your Rocket and your Groot to 7 yellow stars and also level 85. It's not 100% confirmed yet, but those are the data mines that we have. Take both of these characters to level 85, which is huge, big investment. And some of these characters are also part of the Nowhere Heist event. We have StarLord and Rocket, and so you can see that Scopely is giving you certain reasons to invest in these characters, and then on top of that, on the MCU, we have the High Evolutionary showing up as the next villain, and in that movie we also have a big storyline together of Rocket, Groot, and StarLord. Also Adam Warlock shows up in that movie, so we have to wait and see. The movie only comes around in May, so that means maybe that we could have a rework to the Guardians in May or in June. This has been something that has been floating around for a long time, and it's very likely that it will happen, as it seems that Scopely is going to try to rework on some older teams that we had for a while, like Pimtech, Guardians, and so on. Okay, so with that said, let's take a look at StarLord specifically and see why he's such a good character. So, first reason why he's such a good character is his special ability, which is extremely important. So, he's going to give 2 ability energy to 1 random adjacent ally. I think he also gives to 2, but it's inconsistent. It always gives to one side, and to both sides is a little bit inconsistent. And then he's going to apply blind to the primary target, a secondary target, and if you have a T4 you have 50% chance of applying to a third target. This ability is unavoidable, and it costs 4 energy. So as you can see, this is a very powerful ability in PvP situations like Cosmic Crucible, but in scenarios like raids or even Dark Dimension it can be quite useful as well, because 2 energy guaranteed to one target is very, very good. Okay, so that's the first point of StarLord. We have the energy and we have the blinds. The blinds alone are great, and that's going to be also one of the points that we'll see in the raids, is that we can prevent a lot of damage with these blinds. So this is excellent, especially the fact that is unavoidable. Then we have his ultimate. His ultimate is a little bit underrated, and the reason why it's underrated is because it does so much damage. It does a big burst damage of 480%, even without the T4, and then you always have assist from a random ally. So depending on which team you have, if you have this guy together with Omega Red or Morgan Le Fay, that's going to be a huge assist. If you have this guy together with any of the Tangled Web, that's going to be a massive amount of damage. And this is also one of the problems on the Gamma raids, is that some of the enemies, they are also StarLords, and the damage they apply to us is so high that on 4.5 they can one-shot some of your characters, and that's why it's going to be so important that we can blind or give energy to Spider-Man 2099, so after you can slow the enemies. Okay, so let's take a look at the final reason why StarLord is such a good character. Is that on turn 50% chance of generating ability energy for adjacent allies, but also gives energy to Guardian allies, and one of those Guardian allies is himself. So that's the amazing part about this character, is that every time he has a turn, he has 50% chance of giving energy to himself, which will allow to give energy to other characters multiple times. So this is very, very good. On top of that, Guardian allies will have more damage and more speed. I'm not exactly sure if he gives this speed to himself. I don't think he does, which is unfortunate, but the speed that he gives to like Rocket is huge. Now in terms of stats, let's be honest, this has been an old character. He has not have any kind of rework since I played this game, which is a long time. And the stats unfortunately are lackluster. The HP very low, the focus extremely low, and the damage is very low as well. Like everything is low, only the speed is decent. And this is why like a legendary character like this should have a little bit more love, and hopefully it will be the case. So even with Skirmisher Isolate, his focus is quite low, but because the special is unavoidable, it becomes interesting. Then we also have the situation with the health. What most people do is giving fortified isolate, so not only you have the minor defense up, you also have the additional barrier that counts as hit points, right? And finally, is a tech character. There are not many good tech characters going around, at least for now. Soon we'll have Kang the Conqueror, and that's going to be a major tech character, but beyond that, we don't have many tech characters available. He uses the same centerpiece as Omega Red. This is also used by StarLord T'Challa and by Winter Soldier, so it's something that is a little bit on demand lately, but you might be lucky and find a place where you can upgrade this character. Okay, so that's an overview of StarLord. Let's take a look now at some gameplay and see this character in action and why it's so important for the gamma raids on 4.5. Okay, so let's take a look at this character in action, and I'm using Tangled Web with the Symbiotes and StarLord. And my isolate setup is not the best for these specific raids. We need to change some things around because the damage synergy could be a little bit better. We don't have any strikers, and you can clearly say that that's not a good point. But the good thing about this team is that you can always apply the slowy defense down to the enemies. And these enemies on 4.5, they can be quite beefy. This is on 4.4. Unfortunately, my alliance cannot keep up with my progress, and that's just sucks. Okay, so with Spider Weaver, we have healing, and we also have buffs to the team. That offense up goes to all Tangled Web, and it will also go to 2 additional characters that are not Tangled Web. So we have Symbiote Spider-Man, and we also have StarLord that is going to increase his survivability. So you can see right here, he already gave a bunch of energy for Spider-Man 2099, and that's what we want. We always want to have available the ultimate so you can apply slow and defense down to the enemies. Here I overdid it. I did too much damage to Groot. I was not expecting to finish him off, and unfortunately it messed up my rotation a little bit. And here you can see that he gave energy to himself, and because of that I was able to do the special once again. This is something that you might have to be careful, because you don't want to give too much energy, or you don't want to give energy too fast and then not have the blind to apply to the enemy. So that's something that you have to take into consideration. Okay, so he gave energy to himself once again. And once again I used the blind, and I should not have done. I should have saved that blind for the next node. As I was getting rid of all the enemies anyway. Okay, so as you can see, this combination of characters is very, very good. Applying the slow to the enemies all the time is excellent. And then we just have to rely on the big burst damage of the Tangled Web. Now, Symbiote Spider-Man is not doing much here, but his ultimate, the unavoidable stun with the slow to everyone, is quite convenient. in certain situations. Okay, so here we go, we're gonna do these additional nodes. This node is one of the hardest, the age 15, because there are multiple Koraths, I think, Koraths and StarLords, and the burst damage is really huge, and on 4.5 they can one-shot some of your characters, and this is why, once again, it's so important to have the energy on Spider-Man 2099. Okay, so there you go, we got lucky. One thing you can do to prevent this, so you don't rely on luck, is to make sure that Spider Weaver always has charges before the end of the previous node. So she saves the charges from one node to the next, so make sure you have one charge whenever you go to the next node, so Korath does not destroy you. This is something you have to prepare, but it's the safest way to go about it. Okay, so once again I use the stun on a Green Goblin, doing massive amount of damage to the enemies. Spider-Man Noir being very convenient in his raids because his damage output is just ridiculous. Unfortunately, you don't take a big advantage from his ability to get a turn meter, but the damage alone is significant enough to have into consideration. And we are using this team in order to stop investing on the web warriors because it's so expensive to invest in them, and they rely so much on biogear that we could use that biogear for titania or for moonstone, and therefore we want to avoid as much as possible to do so. Okay, so there we go, you can see that we are just destroying the enemies. Once again, if you feel or if you know that you are facing some dangerous character on the next node, make sure that Spider Weaver has one charge available so you can avoid that damage. Okay, so next node, there will not be any kind of dangerous enemies. It's only on this node, age 15, so be careful with that. Let's move on to the next node. As you can see, like, StarLord is staying alive, which is great. All those blinds, the big burst damage, if you focus always on the fastest characters and the characters that usually could destroy your StarLord, you are not gonna have a problem with it. So we are going to use once again the free energy. We are going to attack this additional node, and then we are going to skip the boss node. And yeah, like in the Gamma 4.5, this is pretty much the hardcore version of Marvel Strike Force. If your characters die, you cannot revive them. If your characters take damage, you cannot heal them. So it's very important that you can control your enemies through your abilities. So negative effects, stuns, blinds, charges on Weaver, all those things are extremely important for you to be successful on this Gamma raid. Okay, so let's smash there. We're gonna remove those two Gamoras, and now I'm gonna give energy to Spider-Man 2099. So he's very close to doing his ultimate once again, which is excellent. It's really what you want to. And you see the great benefits of always having this additional energy going on. This is why StarLord didn't got the rework yet. It's because his ultimate is so powerful, or the special is so powerful. Okay, so let's go. We are removing that taunt from the Drags. Then we have the Kree Nobles. Kree Nobles, they are quite annoying because they remove the negative effects, so make sure they never have a turn, or that you finish them off first. Let's take a look. We are gonna destroy first Carnage. Okay, that looking good. Look at Spider-Man Noir damage now, and he's not a striker. Like, if he was a striker, he would be destroying characters left and right, and he's only 5 yellow, 5 red, which is very good. Okay, so Korath, as you guys know, extremely dangerous character, and once again we have StarLord exactly for this, so we can apply blind to him, or so we can spread energy to Spider-Man 2099 and stop the Koraths before they have a chance of doing anything. Once again, Spider-Man Noir with that big damage, tons and tons of bleeds, and we are pretty much done. Here we have that last Green Goblin. Don't forget that Green Goblin, he removes charges from Spider Weaver whenever his passive activates, and people say that this is a bug. It's not a bug. It has been going on for like 3 or 4 months, but it was ignored by Tauna and the other envoys and so on, but many people knew about this. It's something that I have talked about for a long time. Okay guys, so that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Why you should maybe consider getting up StarLord, and hopefully the rumors will turn true, and StarLord and the Guardians also get a rework and get their stats updated to the current meta that we have going on. But you always can find the StarLord on my PvP infographic tier list. Like, he's always an interesting character that you should have into consideration, because together with different characters like Doctor Doom or Omega Red, or in this case Spider-Man 2099, you always find some good value out of these old but not forgotten legendary. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.